Giancarlo Esposito as Sidewinder. Bruh. The leader of the Serpents. I don't know anything of the Serpents just as much as I don't know anything about Batman, the Court of Owls. But Sidewinder making his debut in Giancarlo Esposito, that brother was... His shots were dead shot. I'm talking about dead shot from Suicide Squad shots. Yo, what up, cinephiles and entertainment seekers, and also what up, Coop Troop? This is your man, your host, your maestro of this great channel of ours, DeAndre Cooper, and welcome to DraeRadio Cinema News and Movie Reviews. On today's episode, you guys, I have a movie review for this Valentine's Day weekend Marvel Cinematic Universe event film, Captain America: Brave New World. Happy Black History Month, you guys. We up, baby. We up, baby. If you like anything that you hear on this video of mine, please like, comment, share, and subscribe, because the Coop Troop is an amazing time. And without further ado, let me break down this episode to you. I will be breaking down the Rotten Tomatoes score and talking about the audience score. I will be giving you guys the top critic reviews from Rotten Tomatoes. And then after that, we'll dive into my thoughts and opinions from the good, the bad, and if I recommend this film to you, and if it has any rewatchability value. Then after that, the choice is yours to go check out the film or wait for it to drop on VOD or streaming, whichever you choose to do. Because all films are our choices, as all films are subjectical. So, let's not waste any time. Let's dive into the business. Let's... That's that little SpongeBob thing. I was going for the Marvel Cinematic, opening thing, but I failed. But so let's get into the nitty gritty. Down with the movie review.
Don't say it. Don't you say it. Left. Come on.
On Rotten Tomatoes, you guys, let's talk about what the film is about. Captain America: Brave New World. Anthony Mackie returns as the high-flying hero Sam Wilson, aka the Falcon, now our new Captain America, who's officially taken up the mantle of Captain America. After meeting with newly elected U.S. President Thaddeus Ross, Sam finds himself in the middle of an international incident. He must discover the reason behind a nefarious global plot before the true mastermind has the entire world seeing red. That is a beautiful plot point without giving a lot away. Straight to the point. Straight to the point. And leaves a thriller of a mystery behind in the plot. In the plot, you guys. The tomato meter, that is the critic score, is at a mid 51%. That's a strong score when something of this film is not even aligned with Ant-Man Quantumania. So let's talk about the popcorn meter, aka the audience score, before I say what I need to say. The popcorn meter for the audience is at a boosted 80%. I think at first when I read it, it was at a 71. Now we're at 80. You hear me? We doing something. We in there. Now, majority of the time, I definitely sit heavy with the critic score. I'm 50-50. I'm 50-50, but I'm at a strong leveling balance with the audience on this. Because, this was a Marvel Cinematic Theater event. that was felt, that was received, and that was taken with the joy and love in my heart that I have for the MCU. From the hits, the misses, the questionable content that they dropped, this felt like MCU event material. Come on, y'all. All right, so getting that out the way, let's talk about the top critic reviews for this film and see what they think about it before I talk about what I thought about it. With this segment, I like to break down rotten reviews and fresh reviews at a 50-50 equal balance if I can. And majority of this coming for this film, Captain America Brave New World, was heavy on the rotten reviews. But I'm sitting towards the audience this time with the fresh review. So let's get into the nitty gritty. First off, starting with Matt Singer with Screen Crush. He says, why is Captain America movie so obsessed with a Hulk film that nobody likes that came out 15 years ago? My show is for the fans because I am a fan and nobody heavy in the Hollywood industry that could break down anything industry field. And this is a debate for me. This is a big debate for me because this guy said a Hulk film that nobody likes. Drop down on the comments section below if you did not like Edward Norton's before the Mark Ruffalo family-friendly Hulk transition. Who did not like the Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton? Yes, the movie had its flaws, but let's strictly stay on the Hulk himself. That brother was ripped. He was very angry and very destructive before the transition of Disney came along and Disney fired him up. And let's not only talk about Disney fired him up. We were cool with the Hulk that we had in Mark Ruffalo before Thanos came in and gave him that good me-mop, you feel me? And then turned him into Professor Hulk. With a kid showing up out the wazoo at the barbecue. Edward Norton's Hulk will always be my Incredible Hulk. And I mean, yes, all films are subjective. We all have our opinions. But I fairly enjoyed that Hulk. I like that Hulk, Max Singer. So, hey, your review is definitely in the rotten area of these top critic scores, my man. All right, that was Matt Singer coming from Screen Crush with our first rotten review, you guys. Let's get another rotten in before we dive into the freshies. Caroline Sadie from Girl Culture. She states with a rotten review, instead of feeling like the big splashy debut of a new era for the MCU, Brave New World feels like the subpar sequel to a better movie that doesn't actually exist. I want to break this down along with Matt Singer's review about the Incredible Hulk movie. This was the Incredible Hulk 2.0 without its leading character and its real restrictedness of its storyline to where we all want. We want that secondary solo Hulk film. But as the contract of Universal and Marvel sat around the same tug of war of Sony and Marvel with Spider-Man, we eventually got one of those characters in our grasp through a deal that was suitable for both of them. No, the parties probably didn't walk out of that meeting happy from either option, but they at least came towards an agreement. either Marvel didn't want to dive back into those waters with Universal to where they come towards some agreement and make Marvel the full distributors for our Hulk content, or Universal just got something else going on. But I'm nobody in the Hollywood industry that can really break down anything of that caliber. I'm just a fan. But somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Doesn't Universal have a yearly time span to use their set characters in a solo movie? If not, those rights are reverted back to its initial owners. I'm not sure. Somebody drop down in the comment section and, give me some knowledge on that. But other than that, yes, this is definitely a sequel to a better movie that does not exist. And that was a big issue to me personally with this film, because yes, this is our first time seeing Anthony Mackie, Sam Wilson lead a film, which was chef's kiss. But he was a replacement to a leading character to this storyline. Really, really. And then he didn't even show up. Bruce Banner did not show up. He didn't show up. So either that was just something that Marvel wanted to, duck and dodge and not be under Universal's, God's eye, I'm watching you status. But I get it. I get this rotten review, Caroline Sadie. So that was Caroline Sadie coming from Girl Culture, because, girls just want to have fun. Go ahead now. Let's dive into the freshies, you feel me? Talk about why this movie is fresh to some top critic reviewers. First off, we have Katie Walsh coming from Tribune News Service with a fresh review. She states, "It's too much to saddle his standalone film with this much exposition." Yes, the exposition was there. We'll break that down later. And yet Mackie and Ona, the director, bear it with as much grace as they can. Yes. Yes. A decent political thriller with something culturally resonant to say that exceeds mere comic book particulars. Let's talk about the expositions. The expositions for this film was definitely a heavy recap of Edward Norton's The Incredible Hulk film that released 15 years ago. I get it, but it brings so much conversation to why is it so hard for these two companies to collide agreeably with each other to give us the movie that we really want. The expositions were there because it felt like they needed to revamp, also recap the story on how everything in this movie is even unfolding to be coming from Edward Norton, The Incredible Hulk film. Exposition after exposition from Thaddeus Ross being the Red Hulk, from Stanley Stern, is that his name? The leader, his character. Well, I call him Mr. Blue. Mr. Blue being the leader, how that came to be. Everything that unfolded from the catastrophe of The Incredible Hulk, having that last final battle with Abomination in the streets of New York City. Come on, my God. The expositions were there. But Katie Walsh gave us a fresh review because Mackie and director Ona did their very best. Anthony Mackie with the leadership of Steve Rogers. Not Steve Rogers himself, but Anthony Mackie was the sidekick, the right-hand man, the ace of Steve Rogers' Captain America. Not like the new Falcon being the right-hand man to Anthony Mackie's Captain America, which is very youthful-minded. We'll talk about that later on the back end of this review. But Anthony Mackie was definitely mind to mind with Steve Rogers, Captain America, and that leadership definitely passed the mantle over. This man is worthy of leading the new Avengers. Let's go. Let's go. That was Katie Walsh coming from Tribune News Service with a fresh review that I agree with. I'm all in with that, Katie. Let's go. Now, we have Kyle Smith from Wall Street Journal with a fresh review. He states, if Brave New World isn't an event film, which it was, at least it's competently executed, without resorting to played out gimmickry, such as skipping across the multiverse, thank goodness. And it gives audience plenty of analogs for real world problems. Let's talk about the multiverse and how hit and miss and even scrap bucket that arc was for Phase 5 MCU season. I very much appreciated the fact that we didn't get no collection of them even bringing up the multiverse in this, because that just wasn't working for them. And then the big bad Kang the Conqueror was not even delivering on notes of suspense and anticipation to where Thanos gave us from the first on-screen viewing in the Avengers, the first Avengers, and then the final to first appearance in Infinity War and Endgame. Kang the Conqueror did not deliver that at all. So the multiverse and his storyline not being included in this film, that was very much appreciation to you. Talking about as much exposition that this movie gave, that would have gave it a double layer of exposition, to which we don't have time for no more. Just like the old DCEU, as we through every film leading to its last film, Under the Water, and didn't even entertain no theatrical experience with, that's how we feeling about this multiverse saga stuff with the MCU. So thank you for skipping out on that, Marvel. Y'all did what y'all did. I guess y'all had to do a couple reshoots and, rewriting the scripts whenever Bob Iger and Kevin Feige came back into the regime office. Thank you, Kevin Feige and Bob Iger, for that move alone. That was wonderful. So that was Kyle Smith coming from Wall Street Journal, you guys. A fresh review coming from Richard Whitaker of Austin Chronicle. He says, it's been a long time since a Marvel movie felt like a building block with its own structural integrity. Yes, it has. I mean, talk about Phase 1. The buildage from Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, Captain America, Thor, then the Avengers. This movie has its, balanced to unbalanced 51% tomato score from the critics, 80% popcorn meter score from the audience. You feel me? But if we got to agree on one thing coming from each parties, is that this movie was definitely a fresh restart, a first actual build the puzzle to the story that we're going to get, futuristically speaking. This movie was a setup. A great lead-in debut story for Anthony Mackie, Sam Wilson's Captain America, aka the Falcon. This was a Marvel movie that was satisfaction to the build-up bone. You feel me? And I agree with this, Richard Whitaker, for sure. Also going on with it, he says, even for its flaws, there are flaws. Captain America Brave New World feels like the series may be finding its soul again. I'm talking about the Soul Stone has been used for great good for this movie, for the moving forwardness of what we're about to get in Marvel Phase 6, which we won't have to wait too long because we have 2 more Marvel movies this year. This is the first of 3. Thunderbolts and then Fantastic Four. Bring it on. And let's not forget about the TV series they got dropping this year. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is doing good. Daredevil, Born Again is dropping in March. We getting some MCU success this year. And again, as this film, Captain America, Brave New World, is 50-50 on the rotten and the fresh, it is a puzzle that is being built just like the old MCU regime. And I'm here for it. And let's not forget, this is the last Top Critic Score review before I dive into my experience, my good, bad, and recommendations from Richard Whitaker with our final fresh review of this show of mine. Thank you, Richard Whitaker, coming from Austin Chronicles, for that. There you guys have it. That is the segment for my Top Critic Score Rotten Tomato reviewers. Now, without further ado, y'all know who y'all tuned in to. DraeRadio, the host, me. Y'all want to know about my thoughts, my experience, my good, my bad, my recommendations. If the movie get a thumbs up, down, a little mid, you feel me? But it's my turn. It's my turn. Let's get it going.
My turn!
All right, so with the movie experience for Captain America Brave New World, you guys, the theater was a packed house. It felt like, what can I give it a comparison to? It felt like a shaved audience of Infinity War and Endgame. The IMAX theater was packed, and the experience was felt. There were times to where I didn't even want to get up out of my seat. The movie was a mere hour and 58 minutes long, almost hitting that 2-hour mark. It was felt, but from the expositions alone, from where I take it to be recaps, to the action sequences that were flowing throughout the film, through the charm and joyfulness that you see Anthony Mackie and the new Falcon and Isaiah Bradley, the unforgotten first super soldier. I love that trio. This was the trio that I didn't think I needed in the MCU. And other than that, this movie was a Marvel Cinematic must-see event movie to me. So the experience there, especially being a date night situation with my partner, this movie was a date night collaboration. Valentine's Day weekend, you guys, released February 14th. And if we want to be real about it, released February 13th, because we know films don't drop on Friday no more. They drop on Thursday. And then, speaking on summertime coming up, movies drop Wednesday. So Captain America Brave New World did not disappoint on the experience note. The expositions were there, yes, but the action, the storyline, to me, was satisfactory. I appreciated what I saw, and yeah, that was my experience for this set film of ours. Let's talk about the good. Let's talk about the good and the things that I liked to appreciate about this film. So, I am a victim of the haterade energy given to Anthony Mackie, Sam Wilson's The Falcon, becoming our new Captain America. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm here, y'all. I'm here all the way to 100%. Y'all see me. So it wasn't like I wasn't down for it. Our Captain America could do this all day. He get beat up, he can do this all day. He gonna get up, finish what he started, beat up and all. Falcon, I'm not going to give him the title Captain America in these lines moving forward right now. But the Falcon, Sam Wilson, he is known to me as a man that will run away from a fight. but in a respectable retreat. I mean, you know you can't do it, then go ahead and flee. Go ahead and flee. But when you being past the mantle of Captain America, you got shoes to fill, my guy. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier series, which was a great series to me, my opinion. I very much enjoyed that series, the connection between Bucky and Falcon, the storyline of am I worthy of willing what has been passed down to me? For sure. I love that series. But once he got issued and gained the mindset of this is my shield, this is my duty to wield it, and then came through with the solid Captain America suit, the new Captain America suit, blessed from no Wakandans. There was a scene when we first saw that debut. He ran away and didn't even finish the fight. And I guess it was to save a life or a situation that was more important than the fight that he was in. But no, that ain't what Steve Rogers that I know would have done. So I was just like, I'm not with it. I'm not for it, you guys. I'm not for it. But now, speaking on him as the new Captain America, with no super soldier serum at that. With no super soldier serum, Anthony Mackie is our new Captain America, and I am here for it. My man was taking blows, cuts, deep gashes. He felt them. He felt them. But he stood ground and came back, and the way he was wielding that shield, the way he was delivering them lethal kicks, come on. And as I'm speaking on the combativeness of it all, the fighting sequences that were taking place were so beautifully choreographed. Oh my goodness. Again, no super soldier serum. This man is Batman in it. He was Batman in it, and I was there. I was like, wow. The final battle with the Red Hulk and Falcon. I missed probably the beginning of that because, you know, I had to go to the restroom, had to handle my little business. But I ran back full speed. I'm talking about Pietro. Y'all know who Pietro is, right? Okay. I put it on the little picture right there just so y'all know we connecting right now. I ran back. That fight was... You didn't see what you saw on the trailer. You saw what you saw on the trailer, but there was more to that, and it was beautiful. The fight on Tiamat Island, the Celestial Island that we saw on Eternals, beautiful. Beautiful. The fighting on here in this movie is worth the watch, edge of your seat. Let's go. Let's go. Anthony Mackie, Sam Wilson is Captain America now. The fact that I'm saying this was the Incredible Hulk 2.0 without the leading player of the Incredible Hulk franchise himself being in this film, I loved to even see Edward Norton's The Incredible Hulk get its time of day in the MCU now. As big as a problem as it was following the storyline of so many expectationness for this film, this was an enjoyment for me, of deep joyfulness, of energy bursting through the IMAX screens that I was happy to see be back in the MCU in full throttle. Thaddeus Ross, RP to the late William Hurt, but you are smiling in your resting place right now, because with a man of Harrison Ford caliber and integrity, given that energy of which you gave to us in the MCU, Harrison Ford is doing your character total justice. And to think William Hurt would have had a big role to play in this movie, I wish we would have got to see, but Harrison Ford handled his business Great new addition to the MCU. I look forward to seeing more of him. I want to talk about the new characters. The Black Widow, the Black Widow lady played by, give me a minute, Shira Haas. Her name was Sabra, I believe. I'm going to just go off that, you feel me? Correct me if I'm wrong below. But she wasted no time giving that strict energy and coming through with the kick ass in that first, trigger of a moment in the Oval Office, in the little meeting rooms, to where they announce Adamantium is now in the MCU. She gave in that training from the Black Widows, and I've been saying the whole movie, this is just me, but I'm so used to Yelena. I'm so used to Natasha. I feel like she is somebody that I would just need to really, really get used to seeing a couple more films. But I was saying the whole movie, you guys, I'm a victim of it. I was like, I don't want her to be our new Black Widow. If that's what it's leading for, I don't want her to be our new Black Widow. I have the right to change my mind later on in future films. But for right now, let me spend some more time with her in this movie, and then, come across that usefulness of like, okay, this is who we have. I got to deal with it. But what did y'all think about Shira Haas' Sabra character? And what do you think about her becoming, if possible, it's not even put out there in the media, but this is coming just through my thoughts. What if she's the new Black Widow? What do y'all think about it? Carl Lumbry as Isaiah Bradley. Again, I very much appreciated that trio between him and Joaquin Torres and Sam Wilson. That was a trio of a group that I didn't think I needed. I love friendship. Goonies is my favorite movie, and The Art of Friendship is a love language for me. I love his energy, his innocence in this movie was great. Giancarlo Esposito as Sidewinder. Bruh. The leader of the Serpents. I don't know anything of the Serpents just as much as I don't know anything about Batman, The Court of Owls. But Sidewinder making his debut in Giancarlo Esposito, that brother was... His shots were dead shot. I'm talking about dead shot from Suicide Squad shots. That man on target. On target, didn't miss, and his energy was so scary. I'm talking about grab your seats, intense. Giancarlo Esposito, my man, thank you and welcome to the MCU. I look forward more to his character, Sidewinder, definitely, for sure. The again, now I'm gonna wrap that up with the fighting choreography. Anthony Mackie, leadership in the Captain America role. Again, he is worthy of leading the new Avengers moving forward. I appreciated the storyline, new characters, the announcement of Adamantium being in the MCU now. Tiamat, the Celestial that was in the Eternals, is finally being acknowledged, and then that big fight amongst the Chinese ambassadors and his people. The little secret battle between, I guess, who want to be in control of Adamantium and things like that. I think that's what was going on. That was one of the flaws of the movies, but we're talking about good right now. I'll bring that back up in the bad half. I will return to this movie. I think I would like to go see this movie in theaters again before its theatrical run is up. I'm for the audience. 80% meter score on this one. This film has my recommendation, you guys. That's all the good that I have to say about this. I hope that was satisfying enough though. I know like all my good segments towards my movie reviews are like not really ongoing like most of my bads, but this movie has its flaws. This movie has its definite red flags, and that's most and majority of the good that I got coming for it, to be honest. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap that up. That's my good portions of Captain America: Brave New World. Now let's talk about the bad. So the things that were bad to me about this film was definitely me not being able to understand the connection of the storyline in one viewership. I feel like I would have to watch this multiple times to even give you the exact objective of this film. Like, yes, we're trying to obtain and control in government standards of the new discovery of adamantium. We're trying to keep in the secrets in the Oval Office between what's in the closet of Thaddeus Ross, President Thaddeus Ross. Other than that, this is not a find your will of a story of am I worthy enough of being Captain America, for that was already shared and portrayed on the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But why the Chinese embassy and ambassador wanted control of adamantium, I'm not sure. I can't tell you that off of the first viewership of this movie. So, big conflict of storyline to me that was definitely a lack of. When it come down to the expositions of why Thaddeus Ross past is now coming back to tarnish his career, I appreciated that, not like everybody else. I appreciated the acknowledgments of Edward Norton's The Incredible Hulk being now acknowledged in the MCU for over 15 years now. I appreciated that, so that's not really a flaw to me. But the storyline, you guys, was definitely just not that first off understanding, which I wanted it to really be more so of. The new Falcon played by Danny Ramirez, aka Joaquin Torres is his character name. Very youthful minded. He is not in no comparison of Sam Wilson coming in to be Steve Rogers' right hand man into being our first Falcon. He was very annoying at times to me. I feel like he was more so at a comedy though, because my theater was laughing mostly towards him, and I just wasn't really laughing towards him. He was definitely serving a lot of Young Avenger vibes to me, to which I mentioned I see him being a part of the new Avengers, but I really meant Young Avengers, because then we have Kamala Khan, we have Kate Bishop, we have Ant-Man's daughter, and if I want to go at a stretch and say I could see Spider-Man, Tom Holland's leading that, and if not us having Johnny Storm being a part of Fantastic Four, if he could be a part of that group too, I see his youthfulness being a part of the Young Avengers, because there was a scene, not a spoiler, but him giving Anthony Mackie this one-on-one speech of when I was young and saw these group of superheroes in my vicinity, in my world, I looked up to you and I wanted to be you, the Falcon. That reminded me of the speech that Kate Bishop gave to Hawkeye, Clint. He has a fan base now. Joaquin Torres has a fan base now. Give me a couple more movies with him, and then let's see if my opinion about him change. But other than that, Tim Blake Nelson as Samuel Stearns. I think I called him Stanley Stearns once before, but Samuel Stearns. I wish we had more of his presence in the movie. His presence were there subliminally, like through a hint of catastrophe is unfolding and it happened. But if he was really the antagonist and the big bad of the film, I wish they didn't really keep him under the rug like that, under hidden ship. I wish he was more presentable as he was later on the back end of the film. So Samuel Stearns was definitely a force to reckon with to me when he was available of presence. But other than that, you know, more screen time. More screen time. I wish there was for his character. Oh, little sidebar of honorable mentions. Liv Tyler, Betty Ross made an appearance in this film again since 15 years ago of The Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton. So good to see her back. Welcome back to the MCU, Liv Tyler. What else could have been bad about this movie? I guess that was it, to be honest. Like I said, the expositions wasn't really that much of a bother to me. The annoyance of characters were there. The lack of presence to some characters were there. I'm with the audience on this, you guys. 80%. 80%. This is a rare case for me because, again, I will be heavenly with the top critics, like the critic score, the tomato meter with films. But this film, I enjoyed it. The action was cool. The storyline of the expositions was cool for me. Just the unansweredness of questions is a problem. Some things that I want to connect, but I'll have to go rewatch it again. To multiple times, probably to even just get a grasp of what the future holds. But yeah, so that wasn't that long of, good and bad segments coming from me. Let's talk about the recommendations to revalue ship this movie has. So, do I recommend you guys go see this in theaters? Absolutely. Absolutely. Don't waste no time. You have this weekend, which is at a pass already. We're coming towards the end, but we have all of next week until the next weekend premiere for theatrical releases drop. Go check out Captain America: Brave New World. It is a wonderful time. I recommend it. It gets that thumbs up from me of theatrical experiences. Again, the MCU is back. I'm saying it now. I'm saying it here first, loud and clear. The MCU is back. Rewatch value. Do I see this film being a part of my digital collection when it drops for VOD? No, the rewatch value is not there. There might be some scenes that I would like to revisit. I am a big commentary guy, so I might want to add it just for commentary purposes alone if they do have that material on there. But, excuse me, no rewatch value. The rewatch value is not a up, it's not a down, it's not a up. It's very mid. But no rewatch value for this film coming from me. My first answer would be probably wait for streaming or give it a couple years to, marinate in the VOD catalog, and then I'd be like, all right, bet. Dive into that situationship. Disney Plus already dropped, behind the scenes in the making of set films. So I'll probably wait for Disney Plus to drop the makings of this film for me to indulge in any behind the scenes content. So no rewatch value, but the theatrical recommendation is a thumbs up, you guys. And check it out. Watch this. That's a wrap for my review on Captain America: Brave New World. Have you watched it? Are you planning on going to watch it? And if so, drop down on the comment section below and chop it up with your boy. And Cinephiles, Entertainment Seekers, Coop Troop, thank you for spending this time with me. Your man, your host, your maestro of this great channel of ours, DeAndre Cooper, for my channel, DraeRadio, Cinema News and Movie Reviews. If you liked anything that you heard on this video here of mine, please Jot down on the comment section below your thoughts and opinions, and I will give much and very much attention to that because I'm a fan of this industry, and I'm looking for that round table conversation amongst you guys. So follow me for more of this journey of mine and my content moving forward in the future. And follow the Coop Troop. We are an amazing time. Y'all know who you tuned in to. This is DeAndre Cooper coming at you with what? DraeRadio Cinema News and Movie Reviews. Y'all stay safe out there. Happy Valentine's weekend. Love your loved ones. And the MCU is back. Happy Black History Month, you guys. Check y'all on the next piece of content. Woo!